and so anything with roofing is good enough for a shelter.
It's a world buried in so much problems for the jailers and their prisoners. But life goes on. In the concluding part report, I cut to the chase, seeking some solutions.
Well, you might think that they deserve all these because they are criminals. But how sure are you? Some of them have not even faced trial. Remember Isaac, who's been in for 17 years. Interestingly, administrators and implementers of Ghana's criminal justice system, including the Attorney General and Inspector General of Police, openly admit to the lapses in the administration of justice, leaving these in the cells for so long. Worse still, that overcrowding situation in the prisons speaks ill of a country that professes belief in freedom and justice. In the concluding part, Pete once again cuts the chase, seeking solutions to these problems.
Politicians, including former jailbirds, have promised overhauling the criminal justice system and rescue victims trapped by these unjustified circumstances. And so, we ask what is being done.
The Chief Justice sent 10, 11, 12 judges. So she transferred the high courts or the circuit courts to the prisons. And then they would deal with remand cases. Looking specifically, though, just at the cases of expired warrants.
The Attorney General spearheaded a workshop between her ministry, the Chief Justice Office, this ministry, the IGP and prisons. The purpose of these workshops is to narrow the differences and then to be able to address the challenges that confront us, that bring about the delay in the trials and the congestion in the prisons.
We have two scenarios. One, somebody may be mentally deranged before conviction. Then the other scenario is the person they get insane while in prison. This particular issue came to our notice, and we've directed that it should be sent to Ankafo Psychiatric Hospital, and that has been done.
On addressing the abuse of remand system, Emil Short says Traj will make recommendations to the appropriate authorities and then follow up if no action is taken.
We intend to take some of these cases to court if nothing is done within a reasonable time, to address some of the very grave situations.
Inspector General of Police Paul Tariakwe, aware of the sometimes unprofessional behavior of his men and women, said training and capacity building is high on his agenda. So, is there light at the end of the tunnel for some of these inmates?
This time, I want us to target a reduction, real reduction in the number of prisoners and go for that. We've started under the Justice for All program, which is funded by UNDP, of sentencing guidelines for judges. And we've also started guidelines by which prosecutors should prosecute their cases.
Whilst authorities are overwhelmed with the challenge of congested prisons, crime rates continue to rise with no commensurate expansion of prison facilities. For the year 2007, an average of 9,124 convicts were jailed with an annual 24% growth rate. The average daily convict population for 2008 was 9,845. Of the figure, 9,667, representing 98.2%, are male convicts, while 180, representing 1.8%, were female convicts. The female-to-male convicts ratio for the year was 1:54. Regional distributions give Eastern Region the highest crime rate. For instance, of the 128 murder cases recorded in 2008, Eastern Region recorded the highest with 123. Northern Region recorded 3, whilst the Volta and Western Regions had 1 each. In view of the overcrowding situation, the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning released 3 million cedis from the HIPIC Fund for the continuation of the maximum